seeing things as they are and accepting things as they are is a basis for spiritual development. This realistic attitude, though it is helpful in the spiritual progress, it can be harmful in the material progress, because the entire material development or the progress of the humanity has been dependent on not being ready to accept things as they are, in their need to change things from the state that they are. That is how the entire technological, scientific development took place. Discoveries took place. And the scientific developments, technical developments, material developments led to the material progress. But all the comfort brought about by the scientific development, technical development has not made the human life really happy. Happiness is different from the pleasure. The scientific inventions, discoveries, technical developments, the different gadgets, instruments, facilities produced by science and technology gives a lot of pleasure, but that does not mean that it can bring about the real happiness. The real happiness is a bliss that is undying, undecaying. Buddha referred to that supreme bliss as Nibbana in Pali, and it has been referred to in Sanskrit as Nirvana. The bliss of Nirvana is not to be found in the external world. Nor can the external world disturb or perturb or destroy that spiritual happiness, the supreme bliss of Nirvana. Because it is inner, it is not in our material world. As Buddha has described in a number of instances. For example, in the Tatya Nibbana Sutta, he said that the bliss of Nirvana is unborn. His word, ajata, unmanifested, abhuta, undone. It's not a thing that is done. Akata, unformed. It has not been formed by collecting things that are available. It is called asankata. That means that is the eternal state of our mind. Our normal mind is a thinking mind. thinking of things that are sensed by the sense organs. The 5 external sense organs, the ear, the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the skin, supply a lot of information to the mind. And mind too contains the memories of previous information supplied by the sense organs. And that information can be retrieved. And that information is saved and preserved in our brain. Now, the scientists have found out the previous experiences are saved not only in the brain but in the entire body, in the heart too, in every cell. Every cell, every atom, every subatomic particle carries information, data. They are controlled by their own individual consciousness that form a part and parcel of the universal consciousness. Our mind sometimes becomes aware of such information that has been saved in our brain, in our cells, in our blood, in our heart, etc. Once there is sensation is natural, spontaneous, that is only a response. The awareness of sensation, sensory sensation by the mind is a response of the mind. That is natural, unintentional, indeliberate. It happens automatically. For example, the eye can see. It happens naturally. The ear can hear. The nose can smell. The tongue can taste. The skin can feel the sensations, contacts. Similarly, the mind can become aware of the retained memories, saved memories, memories in the form of mental images. In fact, both the modern science and the Buddha have found out that we can experience only our mental images, but not anything outside us, not the outside world, because the capacities of all our sense organs are limited to know things that we come in contact with. For example, our eye cannot see the atoms or subatomic particles in our body, the real nature of the body. Our ear cannot hear all the sounds in the atmosphere. Nor can our nose smell. Our nose cannot smell even what a dog can smell. Our eyes cannot see even what a dog or a cat can see. Our range of information that can be gathered from our sense organs are so limited. Therefore, the world created with the information supplied by our sense organs is an illusion. All our mental images, mental formations, all what we can understand as our concepts, our ideas, are illusions. Illusion means they are not realities, although they can be practical reality, but not the ultimate or the actual reality. It is only an enlightened mind that can realize the actual reality, the ultimate reality of things. Until then, we become aware of practical realities. The path to enlightenment is to accept them as they are. When our sense organs become aware of sensations, sense objects, the spiritual technique for enlightenment is to be aware of them without thinking of them. We think of things that we like, dislike, or ignorant of. When our sense organs become aware of sense objects, when our mind becomes aware of such sensation, then the mind is free from ignorance because it knows what the signals given by the sense organs are. But in thinking, it starts thinking if the mind likes the mental image formed, or dislikes the mental image formed, or if the mind cannot really understand the mental images formed. Buddha referred to in his language this triple nature of our mind, unenlightened mind, as raga, dosa, moha. Raga referred to as attachment, that is liking. Dosa translated as resentment, that is disliking. Moha translated as ignorance, unawareness of the reality. At least the unaware of the apparent reality. Until we are enlightened, as I mentioned earlier, we cannot be aware of the ultimate reality. However, Buddha has preached us a practical reality of the entire universe and every item of the universe. Every material manifestation is born to decay and die. Buddha referred to it as jati, jara, marana. Jati is birth, jara is decay, marana is death. That means every material manifestation is generated and ultimately gets degenerated. That means we cannot hold on to anything material, nor can we get rid of or reject or throw away anything material. If we can hold on, we cannot throw away. Holding on is referred to as mentioned earlier, raga, attachment. Throwing away, rejecting, referred to as dosa. And the basis of such activities are due to the ignorance. Ignorance of the basic reality, that things are instant. They are born to decay and die. Nothing has a permanent, that is referred to as impermanency. In English, is a translation of the Buddha's word called anicca. Anicca, one meaning is impermanency, but the actual meaning is the universal dynamism. The dynamism means the universe is active, creative. Dynamic, creative means every moment, every item, every form gets changed. That is referred to by scientists as transformation of energy. The universal dynamism is referred by scientists as universal dynamism. Dynamic means the energy. Energy is dynamic. It is not a thing, it is a dynamism. It is an activity, creativity. Active, creative, dynamic means a transformation. If every item is transformed constantly, nothing can retain a permanent identity. That is why Heraclitus, a Greek philosopher that lived in the 5th century BC, said, "No one can step into the same river twice." For example, we cannot touch our same body twice, not a river. Because every atom, every atomic particle, they are always being changed, transformed, constantly. Therefore, the composition of the body that we touch cannot remain when we touch on the second occasion, though apparently the same body is there. That is only a continuation of the energy in the body in this similar form. But that is not the actual reality. Once this ultimate reality is realized or become apparent, it becomes apparent in meditation. Because, as I mentioned earlier, we know nothing other than what is formed by our mind. Mental images. They are only reflections, like the reflection in a mirror. Your form may be reflected in the mirror, but that image in the mirror is not you, though it looks like you. It is only an illusion, apparent reality, but not an actual ultimate reality. Similarly, all mental images that get formed in our mind can be called to be illusions, though they appear to be real. And another factor with regard to the mental images, they are instant, ephemeral. They are born to decay and die. In fact, those images are made by mental sparks, referred to in Buddha's language as chittakshana. Chittakshana, or in Sanskrit chittakshana, are mental sparks. They spark and disappear as any physical spark. Light or electricity produce spark, even a lightning, that's a spark, great spark that appear, disappear. Our mental images are also like those sparks. They are made by the sparks. They appear, disappear. No mental image can remain in the same form for long. One image appears and we think that the same image is there because the image, the spark that appears, disappears, and another spark appears. It is a form of waves, a form of vibration. Even the modern science has realized that all manifestations are energy vibrations. The latest physical theory of physics is called string theory, that appeared or that got formed in the last phase of the last century, from 1970 to 1995. 5 string theories appeared, and in 1995 they were amalgamated into one theory called master theory. The basic factor revealed by that theory is all manifestations, material manifestations are energy vibrations, energy strings. And if one item becomes different from another item due to the pattern of vibration. For example, an electron is different from a proton or a neutron due to their vibration patterns. A color is different from another color. Red is different from blue due to the vibration pattern, due to the frequency of the wave formation. One mobile is different from another mobile due to its frequency. One radio channel or TV channel is different from the other due to the vibration pattern, wave pattern. We experience nothing but waves, vibrations. According to Buddha, it is only an unenlightened mind that is free from vibrations, forming illusory images. That is why it is said in the Mahamangala Sutta, with regard to supreme bliss, the enlightened mind is free from disturbance caused by worldly vibrations, worldly disturbances. Puttasa loka dhammehi cittang yasana kampati. An enlightened mind is free from vibration, means free from mental sparks that produce images. What we call thinking is a production of a series of images. A thought process is a series of mental images. They are waves. In the first paean of joy, Buddha said, thinking, that is, forming illusory mental images, ceased at the enlightenment. Illusion means darkness. It's not a reality. The reality appears in the mind, get manifested in the mind only when all the illusory mental images disappear. That means when the thoughts and feelings disappear. That means when the thinking process disappears. The technique to reach that level of mind is referred to by Krtishnamurthi as choiceless awareness. Awareness is natural, spontaneous, it is a natural response, automatic, indeliberate, unintentional. But you can be consciously aware of those sensations, but without thinking of them. You can stop thinking, only the causes for thinking cease to be in our mind. What are the causes? Liking, disliking and ignorance. Because we think of things that we like, we think of things that we dislike, and we think of things that we are ignorant of, that we do not know. We want to know what it is. But when we are enlightened, enlightenment means bringing light to the mind. The mind becoming illuminated. It means to get mind illuminated, it must have been in darkness. Darkness is ignorance. Metaphorically, ignorance is referred to as darkness. Insight is referred to as illumination, light. That is why Buddha referred to in his very first sermon after enlightenment, he referred to enlightenment as aloka udapadi. Illumination appeared. There dawned the illumination, enlightenment, light dawned. That means until enlightenment, there was no light in the mind. the mind was in the darkness. The mind could not see the real nature of the mind. The basic nature of the mind is the supreme bliss of nirvana. The supreme bliss is nowhere else but in our own mind. It is covered by our thinking process, thinking and feeling. As I mentioned earlier, we think of things that we like, dislike, or are ignorant of. When liking, disliking, and ignorance disappear, there is no thinking process. That means the mind is empty. That is why the bliss of nirvana is referred to as the emptiness. The mind becoming empty of its content. But the mind contains thoughts and feelings. When no thoughts and feelings get formed in our mind, it is an empty mind, free of tension, free of worries, free of fears, free of anxieties, free of hopes, all thoughts and forms, free of all thoughts and forms. That is the ultimate bliss. To realize that ultimate bliss, as I mentioned at the beginning, the main technique is to accept things as they are, though it can be harmful to our material progress, because the humanity have not got all the material comfort that we enjoy at the moment, scientific and technological, industrial. All things were manifested or discovered or created or invented because the humanity was not satisfied with things as they are. They want to change the material world. And we enjoy all the changes as material benefits, comforts. But no material development can give us a real happiness. The real happiness is the spiritual happiness. It is not based on anything. It is an independent happiness. Pleasure is based on other objects, pleasant objects. But the spiritual happiness is not based on anything. It is an independent, not dependent, unconditional bliss. All pleasures are conditional. That pleasure is there because of certain conditions. When they disappear, when the conditions disappear, no more pleasure. The pleasure is always bound to the conditions it needs. But the supreme bliss of enlightenment is free from all conditions. Therefore, Krtishnamurthi preached the path of enlightenment as choiceless awareness. We make a choice, we make a selection, we select things we like out of the things that we dislike. And we select them thinking that they can make us happy. But happiness that our material selections can make is only temporary, ephemeral. But if we have no desire, that means if our mind has no likes, dislikes, and if you can accept things as they are, that it is free of ignorance. That is their nature, you can't change them. Then mind is free from tension. Mind is free from stress. Mind is free from worries. Mind is free from anxieties. The mind is free from fears. The mind is free from frustrations. All mental disturbances disappear if you can accept things as they are. As they are means at the beginning, as they appear to be, accepting the apparent reality. But ultimately, when we practice accepting things as they are, we will ultimately realize the ultimate reality of things, that is enlightenment. Enlightenment means the ignorance disappearing. Not knowing the actual ultimate reality is ignorance. The ignorance disappears at the enlightenment. That is why it is called enlightenment, bringing light with the disappearance of the darkness of ignorance. That can happen to us if we practice accepting things as they are. That we can do in a moderate way in our day-to-day life. Because if you go to the spiritual development extremely, we may suffer. Even material development, extremes, we may suffer. But moderately, in our day-to-day life, we can have a realistic attitude to life, because we have to accept so many things as we are, as they are. Because we cannot change things according to our whims and fancies, according to the way that we desire. Therefore, it is inevitable to be realistic, to be wise. We have to accept things as they are.